guys, so today, as you can see, the Turbo X is still not done. I've just had so little time to work on it, and I'm so upset about that. But hopefully tomorrow, or the day that you're watching this, I'll have a bit of free time, and hopefully I can get this all knocked out, fingers crossed. Also, I'd like to apologize, I am a little sick right now, so my voice probably sounds really weird. But today I just wanted to do a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me to go ahead and ask them, and they would be featured in this video. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram, I'm like 5 followers away from 2,000. So if you guys can get me to 2,000 followers, that would be like freaking amazing, especially since we're about to hit 50,000 subscribers on the channel. So the first question comes from Hutcho, and he said, why did you choose a Turbo X over another Saab? And my answer to that is because I think that this is the best Saab ever made, period. In terms of looks, performance, bang for your buck, everything that you get with this, you can't get all of this in another Saab. And people are going to disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel about it. I just feel like if you want the ultimate Saab, this is it. You can't really get anything faster or, you know, more practical, I guess a sport combi, but I just think that it's like the ultimate Saab. I think it looks so good, it drives so well, it's quick, you know, all these things that it has to offer. Next question comes from Simo Says, and he says, do you regret getting 2.8 instead of 2.0? I heard there are nightmares to work on, haha. Well, considering my other 9.3 is a 2.0 and this of course is the 2.8, yes, these are much more difficult to work on for one simple reason. There's no damn room in the engine bay, and if you guys saw all the crap I had to take out just to get this down pipe out and how much we struggled just to yank this thing out of the engine bay, then you guys would understand. Any of you 2.8 owners out there know that these engine bays are very crammed, but at the end of the day, I would still rather have this. It sounds better, it puts out more power. Yeah, it's a bit heavier, but of course it's because it's a bigger motor. I just like the V6 more than the 4-cylinder. Now, with that being said, I still love the 2.0. It gets much better fuel economy. It does still put out decent power with the stage 3 that my other 9.3 has. I still think the 2.8 is better, so no, I do not regret that. Agino asks, what is your next car? Well, for now, I have no plans for a next car, but after I buy my house and I get financially stable again, it's definitely going to be another Saab. Now, I have a couple cars that I am thinking already. The first one would probably be, I don't know which one I want more. I switch back and forth between which one I'd want more. First one is an SPG, and the second one is a Viggen. I'm not sure which one I want more. I mean, like I said, one day I want the SPG more, and the next day I want the Viggen more, but I've still got plenty of time to figure that out. But either an SPG or a Viggen would be my next Saab, most likely. Okay, I'm going to try not to butcher some of these names so I can tell some of them are European. This next question is from Marco de Brugni. Is there any 9.5 NG Sport combis known in the US or in America? No. I know that there's about, I want to say 27 that were made or that were kept alive. Some of them were crushed, I think. But I'm pretty sure all of those are in Europe. And I know that there was someone a few months ago that was trying to import one here. But with how much those things cost, I'm talking like $70,000 and upwards probably. It's a lot of money to try and get this thing imported, and for something that wouldn't be road legal here. So to my knowledge, there are 0 of them in the US. The next question comes from Adam Fries, and he says, if you had to replace your Saab with another car, what would it be? That's a tough question. I've never really thought about that. If we're talking in terms of like a daily driver, honestly, I'd probably lean towards something like a newer Mazda, because I've always really liked Mazdas, hence my Miata. Whether that be a new Miata or like a new Mazda 3 hatchback with like a 6-speed manual, that'd probably just kind of be like my first inclination. I don't think I'd really go with anything German unless it was a Mercedes. And again, I don't know about Volvo, maybe I'd consider like an S60 as well, but I don't have any plans to buy another car, at this point at least. Luca asks, what's the difference between a 9.3 Aero with the same engine as the Turbo X and the Turbo X? Well, I did a whole video on that, talking about what makes the Turbo X so special and unique. So if you guys want to check that out, there will be a link in one of these corners for you guys to get the long answer for that one. But in short, There's quite a lot of things, quite a lot of little things. Steven FJX asks, I just bought my first Saab, a 9.3 Aero 2.0. I'm in the UK. What do you suggest the first mod I do should be? Now that's a question that I get a lot, and I usually come back with another question for whoever asked this to me. And I usually ask something like, well, what are your plans for the car? Do you just want to put a little bit of money into it, or are you willing to put like, you know, $2,000–3,000 into it to make it a good amount faster instead of just a little bit faster? Because if you just want to get something simple and be done, then just get a stage 1 tune. But if you want to actually make your car a good amount faster, the first thing I would recommend is an exhaust. Now there are plenty of good exhaust systems out there. I would definitely recommend Corona first off. After an exhaust, you can look at intakes, intercooler, and then after you get all your physical mods, that's when I would recommend getting a tune. Because once you have all those mods, getting the tune, after that is just going to be like the icing on the cake, and it's going to feel like a whole new car. Wasabin asks, future plans for the Turbo X, big turb ski. Oh dear. Right now, I'm still kind of trying to figure out this whole mess. So once I get the downpipe and midpipe on, I'm probably going to drive it around for a little bit, and then we'll get the intercooler and all the charge pipes and all that put on a little bit later, and then we're going to be taking it back to the dyno and seeing how big of a difference these parts actually make. Now after that, I'm not sure. Of course I will be getting a new tune because this Jzw Tuning is quite frankly doo-doo. I just realized that my zipper has been down the whole time. I just woke up, guys, so sorry about that. The tune that I would like to go with is V-Tuner because they offer the most bang for your buck with this motor, so I'd probably like to go with them, and to go with a stage 1 or 2 from them, you do have to upgrade the turbo. That's something that I don't really want to do, but if I want to get a whole lot more power out of the car, that's kind of what I have to do. So big turbo, yes and no, not in the sense like you're probably thinking of a big turbo, but a better turbo, quite possibly. We'll have to see in the future. That's nothing that's going to be happening in the near future. Again, my money's kind of trying to go somewhere else right now. Isaac Erickson asked, has the timing chain ever been changed on your Turbo X? Common problem on B284 from 2008 and upwards. First off, I can't verify that, but I do not know. That's a great question. I'll contact one of the previous owners about that, and hopefully it has. I do have some maintenance records I'll look through, but that's definitely something to look out for myself, anyone else with a B284, because if your timing chain decides to poop itself, you're kind of screwed. Next up, Armando asks, how could you get a Jzw tune for the Turbo X? I want to tune my Aero with stage 1, but I do not know how to email. The tune basically says yeah. Jzw is no longer in business for, you know, to keep it short and simple. I don't know why, I have no details on that, but this tune has probably been on the car for quite a long time. It's definitely been on the car since before Jzw kind of went out of business. So you can't get a tune from Jzw. Now if you're talking about your Aero, if you have a V6 Aero, I would recommend going V-Tuner probably. Now if you have a 2.0 Aero, I'd probably go with MapTune or Hirsch or something like that. Next question is from Chayton, and he asks, is my dream of finding a clean Canadian manual Turbo X combi within the realm of reality? Well, I don't know about Turbo X numbers in Canada, but I know in the US there are 45 manual sport combi Turbo X's. If you were in America, I would say there's probably not any for sale right now. And if you did want one, you're probably gonna have to pay at least $20K for one. So all I can really say is I don't know the production numbers for Canada. I'd assume there's not as much as in America. But I would just say keep looking, because usually when these type of things come up for sale, they get a lot of interest really quick, and they get shared in pretty much any Facebook group right away. So you gotta be on top of that if you are really seriously looking for one. So I would just be checking forums and SaabNet every day and just hoping that something comes up. Smokin' Saab, my buddy Tom asks, would you own a 9.5.3 if you had the chance? Now he's referring to his 9.5, which has a Griffin 9.3 front bumper kind of morphed and adapted to his Dame, which looks absolutely freaking badass. Yeah, I'd still probably own one. I mean, it looks freaking sick as hell. My buddy Matt asks, how do you sleep at night? And I don't. Next question, do you want to go to Trollhättan in Sweden sometime in the future and visit the Saab Car Museum? Now I've gotten asked this a million times, are you ever going to come to Sweden? Are you ever going to go to the Saab Museum? Are you ever going to come to any of our meets here? And the quick answer is, well, right now, no. A trip to Sweden, if you guys really think about that, think about how expensive that is and how little money and revenue I would get back from making those videos. It's nowhere near worth it. Now, with that being said, when I say that, it's not a pure money issue. I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but just how much that costs. I mean, of course I get to meet so many of you guys over there and get to see so many cool Saabs that of course I've never seen before. But just with how much that trip would cost right now, that's not really something I can do. Hopefully in the future, maybe sometime next year, we'll have to see. Next question, Danny asks, was it fun installing the downpipe? Well, given that it's right here in my hands, I can't tell you that yet. But I can tell you, and you personally know from experience, that it was a pain in the ass to get out, and I've already talked about that in this video. So, no, I have not enjoyed this so far, but I know that when I'm done, it's going to be so worth it, and I'm so excited. What's your favorite color? Follow-up, what's your favorite color that Saab put on their cars? Oh, that's such a tough question. Well, my favorite color would probably just be blue. And my favorite color that Saab put on their cars, that's a tough one. There's so many good colors. I really like the midnight blue that's on my other 9.3 that's got like a hint of purple to it in the sun. That's an absolutely stunning color. I also really like laser red. You know, there's just so many good colors. Like pretty much any red on Saabs, especially I believe it's Merlot. It's like a darker red on the 9.5s. That's pretty good too. And anything white. Any white or silver Saab just looks absolutely incredible. So I can't give you like a solid one answer on that. There's just too many. But that's it for today, guys. Just a quick Q&A. Again, if you guys can get me to 2,000 followers on Instagram, that would make me so happy. That would give me all the motivation I need to get this thing done. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. If you guys can get me to 2,000 followers on Instagram, that would just be absolutely amazing. So go ahead and follow me there if you aren't already. It'll be worth it. I post good pictures of this car, not right now though because, you know, of this. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.